All right, great morning to you, Trinidad and Tobago. It's the No Morning Show. Welcome back to all of you who joined us from 6 a.m. It's just about 16 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock, and we just really want to know, is this a dangling of the carrot? Are we going to be seeing any kind of carnival activity in 2022? So let's welcome the chairman of the National Carnival Commission, Winston Gypsy Peters. He's with us via telephone this morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Peters.
Hi, Natalee. Good morning. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. And how are you?
Good morning to you and good morning to Trinidad and Tobago, wherever else in the world we are heard.
I get a little bit of the Yankee accent there a while ago, man. Trinidad and
Tobago.
You did? so, Gypsy, let us just talk about it. At this stage, in the 10th of January 2022, if we don't know at this point if we're having carnival, is there anything that's even possible, considering that Carnival Monday is the end of February? Carnival is now really and truly, and the end of Carnival is in a month and a half.
Well, Natalie, the thing about it is that we have made the proposals. We have taken the proposals to the minister. Our line minister has taken the proposal to cabinet. Remember that we are in a very, very precarious kind of poised situation here in terms of this pandemic and what is happening in the country. We have an uptake in this third or fourth wave, whatever wave it is that's going on right now, with whatever is happening, and all the necessary precaution has to be taken before we can even answer what is going to happen. I am not in a position to tell you at this point yes or no. That resides with the Prime Minister, the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, and my line minister, who is going to make those announcements. All I can do is to go along with the guidelines. As it is now, if you ask me my personal opinion, I would say right this minute I have I have a lot of trepidation. I'm feeling, in my heart, I want to do it. But then there is something in my brain that is saying, you know, something is not totally right here. And if we are able to get it right at all, if we are able to get it right, I'm still saying we can. But with the upsells, I mean, every day, 27 people, 25 people, I mean, we have to be careful.
Let me just be frank with you. We have seen this government have two major elections during a pandemic. We've seen this government end a state of emergency even as we were having spike. We've seen the government take the decision to reopen the economy slowly but surely, even regardless of the numbers. And what we're constantly being told is that, listen, we have to learn to live with this thing. And we've seen the government take the initiative to have safe zones. So if you go through all of these, what is the end result if you're saying to us that it can apply to everything else but not Carnival?
Well, listen, we are not saying that we are not going to have Carnival. We have already said that we are not going to have Carnival the way that we know it. But we are trying our best to put something together that would appease carnivalistic people and would have a Trinidad Carnival in a way that we are not accustomed to. But I am saying to you that we have to be totally cautious because Carnival, mind you, is not a church service. Carnival is not an election where you have to just line up in a line and go and do whatever you have to do or what have you.
Oh, come on, Gypsy. There's normally a lot of gathering and canvassing and stuff. Not true.
But it has that, but it has it in a different way. It has it in a different way, Natalie, and a different frame of mind as well. So we have to be, you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. The equation is not, you know, we can't equate it with that at all.
So where's the disconnect? Where's the disconnect then? Because at the end of the day, if NCC has submitted its proposals to the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism possibly to the Cabinet, and at this point we don't know, is there a breakdown of communication? Because if we don't know the 10th of January, when are we going to know the 4th of March?
What there is, Natalie, is all the things that we have to go through before we can say, yes, this is what it is. We have a whole lot of things. We have the Ministry of Health who guides this whole thing, and they've been doing a good job. unlike what a lot of people feel. They've been doing a fantastic job, because hadn't it been for the job that they were doing, we might have had about 6 or 7 or 8,000 deaths right now. So we have to be extremely careful. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. We have to take a lot of precaution. And we are being guided by all of those things.
I mean,
so it is not it is not up to us.
I don't doubt that the Ministry of Health has been doing the best it can. But if Johns Hopkins University is telling us that we have the highest death rate, per capita, are we in the world for such a small country? Are we really doing so good?
You would have to ask them that. As far as I am concerned as a layman, I am seeing us doing the best that we can. I don't know where John Hopkins or whoever it is getting all of this from. I am seeing that they're trying to do the best that we can. And I don't know. I mean, you would have to ask the ministry, when you talk to them, the Ministry of Health, you would have to ask them, what are we doing wrong, or what more can we do? Because I definitely can't. I definitely cannot.
But tell us, Gypsy, tell us, do you think that there has to be a cutoff point, to us knowing whether or not we're going to be having some safe zone events?
Well, yes, and that would be announced too. That would be announced too, because with the type of carnival that we want to have, the type of carnival that we announced that we would be having, as long as we are having any, the preparations for that are well in place already. It is well in place. The only thing that would disappoint people is if there's a cancellation of that as well.
Right,
as far as the kind of carnival that we announced, those preparations are well in place.
And what do those preparations look like? Because in terms of if you're to have something, what will that something look like?
Well, that's something we announced it before. We are going to have a couple of enclosed venues. It is going to be an enclosed carnival. We're going to have a couple of enclosed venues. As it is here now, 3 of them. We want to have a 4th one, but we have 3 because we can't manage more of them. So we have San Fernando, we have Arima, and we have Port of Spain, of course.
And what about Tobago?
Tobago is controlled by the Tobago House of Assembly, and whatever we have to do there would have to be in collaboration with them. I haven't had any serious talks with these new people that take over. We have, however, a committee that is set up to go over there sometime this week to talk with them.
Because this is what I'm saying, that, Tobago is not a separate island. One would have wanted to believe
Tobago is not a separate island, but there's a certain amount of autonomy that operates out of Tobago that we have no control over. Tobago basically calls its own shot. We're fooling ourselves, And I want an opportunity to say this, that we in this country fooling ourselves that Tobago is not no separate country. And Tobago is an entity on its own. This man saying he's doing what he's doing, and he's doing here. He's not going with no guideline as well. The people that they pay in, and what have you, and maybe Tobago has the right and the autonomy to do that. But it is something that is happening, and we're fooling ourselves. We keep fooling ourselves and talking about Tobago does what it wants. Tobago could do more than they could. If Tobago want to do something now, they could do that we can't do in Mayaro at all. If we want to do something in Mayaro, it has to be under the guideline of the central government. If Tobago wants to do whatever it wants to do, Tobago does that outside of the authority of the central government, because they have a certain amount of autonomy. So we have to always be in collaboration with them. We have a ministry. We have a minister of culture in Trinidad, right? A minister of culture in Trinidad and Tobago, supposedly, that can't do nothing for the culture of Tobago except give them money. If they want to do whatever they want to do, he has to go along with them, because they have a secretary of culture. And that secretary of culture takes precedence, as far as I am concerned, over the Minister of Culture in Trinidad. I was the Minister of Culture, and there are things that I wanted to do in Tobago. There are things that I took to Tobago and wasn't able to do it, because Tobago have a certain amount of autonomy. Let's stop fooling ourselves, man.
Oh, that's interesting.
And in a while from now, if people keep implementing whatever they want to implement to the letter, you might find central government could do it in Tobago.
That's an interesting
perspective. You hear this man announce today, I'm not against what he said, by the way, but he announced today that people could dress however they want and come to whatever they And in Trinidad, we can't do that. If we go in our office with a short pants or something in Trinidad, they tell you to go and put on a long pants and maybe put on whatever, put on some jacket and tie in order to go up to our office. He just announced that you could come to our office anyhow you want in Tobago. And that is it. I don't think Trinidad could do anything about it. I don't know if central government could say they're going against that. I'm not against that at all, by the way. I'm just saying it. It's not something I'm against. Because I find that this restriction that I can't wear what I want in this hot country, I can't put on a short pants to go to some office because I have on a short pants and a slipper is really nonsense as far as I'm concerned. But having said that, he just announced that, and whether they like it or not, they can't do nothing, I don't think.
Right. We seem to have switched gears a bit with the conversation, and I don't mind allowing it to flow generically. So are you suggesting that even this idea that we had of autonomy for Tobago, is that just a farce then, if you think it has all of this autonomy already?
Well, what they want is total autonomy. They don't want partial autonomy. They want what they want. Tobago needs Watson Duke, right? Made no bones. He didn't even crouch it in any kind of ambiguity when he said that what he wants for Tobago, he wants Tobago he wants to be the Prime Minister of Tobago. He said that he wants Tobago to separate from Trinidad. Those are his words, not mine. And I am saying to you, that is not an isolated pronouncement. It is not. And I'm coming back to my carnival because that is what I'm responsible for. Having said that, I still have to go through Tobago to figure out if Tobago is in sync with what we are doing, if they want to be in sync with what we are doing, or if they want to do something else. But I would have to find out that from them. It is not no decision that we can sit in Trinidad as the National Carnival Commission of Trinidad and Tobago and say, we have to go along with what they're saying as well.
Wow.
I guess the very central government has to go along with what they want.
This is the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, but the National Carnival Commission of Trinidad and the Ministry of Tourism and Culture for Trinidad.
Well, of course it is. Let me tell you something. I think it's just a farce to be talking about the Ministry of this and that of Trinidad and Tobago. When Tobago could go ahead and do whatever they want. If they want to give them the amount of money that the Constitution say you have to give them, and they spend that money however they want and whenever they want, do a concrete for years and years and years and years and years. And when they finish, they just do whatever they mind tell them. And then we have to go along with the constitutional requirements to give them whatever the Constitution say they have to get.
So do you support that? Do you support that Constitution, Gypsy? Do you support that Constitution that gives the THA money?
Do I support what?
The Constitution that gives the THA money.
I support the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, and I take an oath. From time to time, I take an oath to uphold the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm prepared to do that to the letter. But at the same time, I don't mean that I would have to blindly agree with everything that the Constitution say I don't.
Right. So you don't necessarily agree with that one.
I have an obligation. To go along with it.
Right, but not necessarily agree with it.
But not necessarily agree with it. There are lots of things that I don't agree with that I go along with because you have to go along with it. It's just the way life is made up.
Because you took an oath of office. All right, Gypsy, let's hope that we can really know.
Office, that's what you have to do.
Let us hope that we can really...
So let me answer your question in short. Well, I answered it already. But I'm saying to you that we are going to be in talks with the Tobago House of Assembly to find out if they are in sync with what we are doing, if they want to go along with what we are doing, if they will go along with what we are doing, and if there's anything that they are doing that they would want us to go along with them to help along with. Right. But we can't just say, as it is here now, that we go into Tobago and do that. No, we can't say that.
And what you're also saying is that we still don't know as yet when or if we're going to have a carnival or that
when those announcements, I still don't know. As I speak to you this morning, I'll be able to tell you that this evening. I don't know, but I can't tell you that this morning exactly when those announcements will be made. Those announcements are way out of my pay.
When do you think you'll be able to tell us, Gypsy, if at all?
Well, I'm sure we'll be able to tell you, or you will be told, whether by me or by somebody else. But you will be told. But I cannot say right this minute. I wish we could have said it tomorrow. But I'm telling you that this situation that is going on in our country is very fluid, and the government has to be very careful what it does.
True.
And I think that that is what is happening. We are analyzing. I'm sure that the powers that be, they're analyzing what can be and what cannot be to ensure that it works the right way and it doesn't exacerbate the problem that we already have.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning, Chairman. And we look
Very
forward to what the decision will be.
Okay.
All right. Winston Gypsy Peters, there, Chairman of the National Carnival Commission. Can't see us yet, but we'll have an idea soon as to if we'll be having any kind of carnival events for 2022. We take a break and we'll be back with you.